The year was 1954. A boat was slowly moving across the waves of the sea. The fog was so thick that nothing could be seen clearly even a short distance ahead. On this boat were traveling U.S. Marshal Edward Daniels and his new partner, Chuck All. Their destination, Shutter Island. Shutter Island was no ordinary place. In the middle of the ocean, this island was like a prison itself. Ashcliff, a mental hospital, stood there. But this too was no ordinary hospital. Here were locked away the country's most dangerous criminals, murderers, arsonists, and people whose minds were completely consumed by madness. Edward and Chuck were called to investigate a case because one of the hospital's dangerous patients, Rachel Solando, had mysteriously disappeared. When they reached the hospital, they were welcomed by Dr. John Cawley, the chief officer of the place. His smile was cold, his eyes mysterious. Rachel's case was bizarre. Her room was locked from the inside. The windows had iron bars. Guards were stationed everywhere, and yet she vanished, as if into thin air. Edward and Chuck began questioning the patients and staff, but every answer was twisted, confusing. No one was ready to speak clearly, as if everyone was trying to hide a bigger secret. Meanwhile, Edward began suffering strange headaches and terrifying dreams. He kept seeing visions of his wife, Dolores. She kept repeating, "Leave this place, Edward. It's not what it seems." Dolores had died in a fire, and Edward believed that behind that tragedy was one man, Andrew Laeddis. Edward's hatred and obsession stemmed from this man. As the case progressed, Edward grew suspicious that Ashcliff was more than just a hospital. He believed illegal mind experiments were being conducted there, experiments to control memory and thought. The two marshals searched different parts of the hospital. They saw patients locked in dark corridors, eyes filled only with madness. From there, they reached the crypt, where only stench and strange echoes lingered. Then they entered Ward C, the most dangerous part of the hospital. The patients there were so terrifying that just looking at them was enough to chill the heart. At that moment, a violent storm broke out. Lightning flashed, thunder roared, and waves crashed against the island. In the chaos, more patients escaped. Now the whole island felt like a dangerous maze. One night, while escaping the storm, Edward stumbled upon a cave. There he met a woman. She claimed she was the real Rachel Solando. She said she used to work at the hospital and that the doctors were conducting secret brain experiments on patients. Anyone who resists is declared insane and then locked up forever. Edward's suspicions deepened. He even began to suspect his partner Chuck of being part of the conspiracy. Finally, Edward decided that the real truth lay in the lighthouse. He believed it was the secret lab where the experiments were happening. Reaching the lighthouse wasn't easy. Strong winds, crashing waves, guards everywhere, but Edward was determined. At last, he reached the lighthouse. But inside, the site was nothing like he imagined. No patients, no machines, no experiments. Only Dr. John Cawley was waiting for him. Calmly, the doctor said, "Marshal Daniels, it's time you knew the truth," Edward angrily demanded. "Where's Rachel? Where are the experiments?" The doctor's reply froze his blood. Dr. Cawley told him, "Rachel Solando never existed. The real patient is you." The doctor revealed that Edward's real name was Andrew Laeddis. Yes, the same Laeddis he'd been searching for. The truth was that Andrew was Ashcliff's most dangerous patient. His wife, Dolores, had been mentally ill. One day, she drowned their children in water. Seeing this, Andrew's mind completely broke. In rage and grief, he shot and killed her. But the guilt was so deep that he created a false identity in his mind, that of U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels. For 2 years, the doctors had been trying to treat him. This entire case, Rachel's disappearance, the investigation, it was all a role play, so that Andrew could come out of his delusion and face the truth. Chuck All wasn't a real marshal either. He was Andrew's main doctor, Dr. Sheehan Star. Now Andrew's memories returned, his children, his wife, and the bloody past. Later, Andrew sat in the hospital garden with Dr. Sheehan beside him. In a low voice, Andrew asked, which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man? With that, he slipped back into the role of Teddy Daniels. He rejected the truth once more. The doctors exchanged a silent signal with the guards. Andrew Laeddis was taken to the lighthouse, where he would undergo his final treatment, a lobotomy. The film ends here, but one question still lingers after learning the truth. Was Andrew just pretending, choosing to die as a good man? Or did he truly sink forever into his false world?